Welcome to my channel, Jerry's Passions Live. Good evening. Kamusta kayo dyan? Kate, shout out Kate. May jacket ka na Kate, baba ko ng bahay mo lang ka. May jacket ka na Kate. May jacket ka na Kate. Baba ka bahay mo. Pwede Kate. Baba ka bahay mo. Huwag ka mahiya. Baba bahay. Baba ka dyan bahay mo. Salamat kita. Thank you very much. So, baba kayo ng bahay na. Latest journey, dikit na daw latest journey. And thanks, Kate, from latest journey. Baba ka dito ako sa babay mo langga, Kate. Dito ako sa harang mo. Kati Chris. Dagdagan kita Kati Chris ha. Dito ako sa Optical Hong Kong. Short. Dito ako sa bahay mo, Optical Hong Kong. Nanood ko lang. May tamsak na, may dikit pa. Yan. Panood ng buo. Maganda pa yan ng kwan dyan, no? Okay, mga langga, thank you very much. Our topic this time is about Biosphere. This is a science-related concept. So, we're going to discuss the biosphere, origin and the use of the term biosphere concept, physical properties of biosphere, and the factors that affects the biosphere. So that's for our main topics and main objective for the content for the dessert score. Shout out Jason Lidisma, thank you ha sa pagbaba ng bahay ni Dessert Score. Dessert Score, thank you very much. Ayan, binababa ng ano ko kapatid yung bahay mo si Jason. Bahay mo yan. Salamat na Dessert Score. You are road to 1,000 na. Salamat sa pagpa-member na I included you as my channel member in my channel. Ilan na ba to siya? 873. Ayan. I will help you to reach your 1K. Grabe ang mga lagas tulad, no? I will try my best. Ayan. And kasi ang mga na-workout ko yung mga channel member. Welcome, host. Salamat Masaya naman doon sa live stream mo na nakapunta ako. Kantahan. Kantahan. Ang dami mong Ay, ang ganda ng Batman mo na mapalabas sa gaming. Sandali lang Lalapag ko na kita sandali lang. Kita, ipin. Yan sa ni Jason Dessert Score Gaming. Salamat And mega love shoutout dyan sa lahat. Ang Dessert Score. 1S pala to. Dessert Score Gaming. Ano nakita? Yeah, continue your live stream. Nakakarami ka sa mga watch hour pag lagi ka nag-live stream. Dito mo na, may mga harang na itong bahay mo. Ito lang ilalapag ko, DSG Thriller. Hello, Tara. How are you, Tara, my dear? Tara, how are you, Tara? My members, Dessert Score Gaming is an awesome friends. It's a gaming channel. Ayan, ipipin ko aking member ha. Ayan. Tara, shout out Tara. Mwah! Tara is in the house. How are you, Tara? I miss you, Tara. Thank you, thank you. Tara is from North America. Tara, did you eat your breakfast? How are you? Thank you for visiting, Tara. Thank you, thank you. Yap, yap, yap. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yap, yap, yap. Thank you, Tara. Desert Score Gaming is a gaming channel, and he's also a live streamer. Ayan. Ang ganda tong Batman Arkham Knight mo. Mahilig ka pa na sa games, no? Pero may kaibigan ako na gaming, monetize. Okay lang yung mga ganyan-ganyan na mga content. Pwede siyang ma-monetize. Pero yung nakikita ko yung ibang gaming channel, parang na-demonetize. Kasi yung content nila sobrang yung sad, extremely brutal. Parang hindi pala yan. Pag ganyan lang ang mga ano, katulad sa mga nilalaro mo, parang okay yan. Mm. Parang may story ba? Tapos plus parang may adventure. Minecraft, okay lang yung Minecraft. Final chapter plug. Ang dami mong laro, no? Sana makalaro rin ako. Joyful World TV shout out. Maraming salamat. Patikit lang ka sa aking member. Our topic is about Biosphere. Okay, when you speak of Biosphere, that is on the way na sa nakapin, Joyful World TV, thank you. Biosphere is the global sum of all ecosystems. It can also be termed the zone of life on Earth, a closed system apart from solar and cosmic radiation and heat from the interior of the Earth, and largely self-regulating. Buhay, caretaker, shout out. Kamusta ka langga? Ayan, padikit sa Maraming salamat dyan na sa latlata nandyan. I-mention nyo lang na dikitan nyo para mapuntahan kayo. Thank you very much sa latlata nandyan. Shout out, shout out. Biosphere has geologic origin. It is an indicating of the effect of both Charles Darwin and Matthew F. Murray on the earth sciences. The biosphere's ecological context comes from the 1920s, preceding the 1935 introduction of the term ecosystem by Sir Arthur Tansley. Bernard Sky defined ecology as the science of the biosphere. It is an interdisciplinary concept for integrating astronomy, geophysics, meteorology, geography, evolution, geology, geochemistry, hydrology, and general speaking, all life and earth sciences. Ayan, si Peter nagbaba ng bahay. Maraming salamat dyan ha. The term biosphere was coined by geologist Edward Suisse in 1875, which he defined as the place on Earth's surface where life dwells. So Yeah. Yung lugar na kung saan mayroong living things na biosphere has atmosphere, has water, and of course has this lithosphere, the land portion, the water portion, and it also has the atmosphere to support life. So the biosphere concept is common to many scientific disciplines, including astronomy, geophysics, geology, hydrology, geography, evolution, and is a core concept in ecology, earth science, and physical geography. Maraming salamat dyan ha, mga langga. Ayan. Baba kay bahay nyo at mamahala ng bongga-bongga. So we have these levels of organization uh, at from atoms, the molecules, from molecules to protoplasm. I am just ranking this from smallest to the biggest levels of organization. So first, it will start from atoms, then from atoms, molecules, going to protoplasm, then cells, tissues, organs, organism, then will proceed to population, a group of species, then communities, ecosystem, then we have these biomes, then biosphere. This comprises the ecology from organism to biosphere. Organism, population, communities, ecosystem, biomes, biosphere. These are under the ecology topic. So and then we have from biosphere, then the Earth, then from Earth to solar system, and from solar system to galaxies, and from the within the galaxies, ito galaxies is under the universe. Litas Jeremy, hi Joyful. Maraming salamat yan ha. Physical properties but the biosphere in terms of its surface reflectance or albedo and exchange of heat and moisture with atmosphere are also critical for the understanding global circulation of heat and moisture, and therefore climate alterations in both the physics or albedo, heat exchange, and the chemistry, carbon dioxide, methane, etc., of Earth system by the biosphere are fundamental in understanding the anthropogenic global warming. Narinig ba ako, guys? Hello, hello, hello. Shout out. Okay. Narinig ko. So we have this biosphere na we have this the biosphere, the lithosphere, hydrosphere, ecosphere, and the atmosphere. Uh, what are the factors affecting biosphere? Distance between the Earth and the Sun. Seasons and seasonal climate changes are directly results of the tilt of the Earth towards or away from the sun. When speaking of tilt, that is the rotation of the earth. Tara, the Lord. The Lord. How are you, Tara? What time is there right now? It's 8 o'clock here in the evening in the Philippines. Yan, the Lord. Yan. So, the climate changes are the direct result of the tilt or rotation of the earth towards or away from the sun. Summer months and allow half of the planet to warm while other half cools. 6 months later, the temperature shift into the opposite direction. So that's why now we have this ano um here in the Philippines we are near the equator, so we are in the lower latitude. I think in your country, Tara, I think that is maybe middle latitude or higher latitude wherein we have the winter 4 seasons in the world. While here in the Philippines, the season is only dry in the wet season. Then we have this the effects na factors that affect biosphere, the chemical erosion. It's a great example of landscape changing one molecule at a time. Then oxidation and reduction reaction change the composition of rocks and organic materials. So there is also biological erosion. Na Tara, hello Tara. Oh, yap yap yap. Tiny organisms such as bacteria and fungi are constantly working to break down organic or inorganic materials. So they are decomposers. That is responsible for the decomposition of living matter. Joy. Joy from Tara. Maraming salamat dyan sa lahat na nandyan. Thank you mga langga. We have this four composition of Earth. So the Earth has four main composition. We have the atmosphere, the comprising the gaseous part of the Earth, the hydrosphere. Okay, go back. The atmosphere, the gaseous part of the Earth or air. No? Sa hydrosphere is the water part of the Earth. Biosphere is the area in the earth where living things exist, and we have also the geosphere, comprising the land or the rock. No, so that is the composition of our planet Earth. So the biosphere is where the life on Earth are present. It is the sea life, plants, flying creatures, human. And this biosphere encompasses hydrosphere, upper geosphere, and the lower atmosphere. And the other one is the geosphere. The geosphere. Mm. Ano, what? The relationship between, the relationship between an organism and its environment is the study of ecology. A person study ecology is ecologist. It studies the interaction of organism to its environment. That's ecology. So living things interact with non-living things in the biosphere. We have these biotic factors, living components in the biosphere. That is biotic factors, which means biotic factors are those are the living things. And biotic factors meaning biotic meaning related to life are living factors, plants, animals, fungi, protists, and bacteria are all biotic or living factors. The abiotic factors is the non-living components in the biosphere that includes environmental factors such as habitat, pond, lake, ocean, desert, mountain, or weather such as temperature, cloud cover, rain, snow, hurricane, etc. These are the abiotic factors or the non-living components. And we have this water. So what is the role of water in the biosphere? Do you think you can survive without water? Our body is made up of water. So do not wait that you will feel thirsty. Then do not. You should not wait to drink water and feel the. Do not wait that you will be thirsty before drinking water. Now, before you will get thirst, just drink water every day. Do not wait that it will you will get thirsty. Water is the universal solvent and the basis of all life on our planet. Na the hydrosphere is the important is important to the biosphere. The hydrosphere is important to biosphere. Why is it that the water is the universal solvent and the basis of all life? Because all organisms needs water. All Almost all the elements and substance dissolved in water, so that's why it is a universal solvent. Maraming salamat dyan, Tara o the Lord Joy. What about the role of the sun for the biosphere? The sun provides the light and heat necessary to maintain life on Earth and is the ultimate source of energy. The biotic and abiotic factors combine to create a system, or more precisely, an ecosystem. An ecosystem is community of living and non-living things. Example of ecosystem, a plant ecosystem, biotic factors. Uh, Example of ecosystem is the plant ecosystem. The plant ecosystem consists of the abiotic factors and the biotic factors. What is the biotic factors in the pond ecosystem? Well, what can you find in the pond is water. Water is the biotic factors, and fish and the plants there are the biotic factors. And of course, sunlight is the abiotic factors. Ocean ecosystem, yeah, it is composed of biotic and abiotic. Maraming salamat dyan sa inyo ha. And we have also the grassland ecosystem. So, what is the impact of changing factors? If a single factor is changed perhaps by pollution or natural phenomenon, the whole system could be altered. For example, humans can alter environments through farming or irrigating. While we usually cannot see what we are doing to various ecosystems, so the impact is being felt all over. For example, acid rain in a certain region has resulted in the decline of fish population. So it can really affect others. And we have the food chain as as shows how each living thing gets its food. Some animals eat plants, and so these animals that eat plants is known as herbivores. And some animals eat other animals. They are called ano ba? Um, carnivores. For example, a simple food chain links the trees, the giraffes, and the lions. Each link in this system is a food for the next link. A food chain always starts with plant life and ends with an animal. Like, for example, The plants is eaten by the giraffes. Giraffe is eaten by the lions. So that is an example of food chain. The, the primary consumer is the giraffe and the secondary is the lions. If the lions died, well, the third uh, yeah, consumer is the bacteria or the fungi or the earthworm that responsible for the decomposition of the living matters. The biosphere is an example of another food chain. We have this what? Plants is eaten by caterpillar. Caterpillar is eaten by the frog. Frog is eaten by the snake. Snake is eaten by the owl. Yeah. So your primary consumer for this is the caterpillar eating the flower. The secondary consumer is the frog. The caterpillar is eaten by the frog. So secondary consumer is the frog, and frog is eaten by the snake. The snake is the third consumer. And if the snake is eaten by the owl is the fourth consumer. Ayan, maraming salamat dyan. Plants are called producers or autotrophs because they are able to use light energy to make their own food. So plants, during the process of photosynthesis, absorb carbon dioxide plus water plus sunlight, yeah, water, sunlight. Then converting this carbon dioxide into glucose, and glucose is absorbed by the plants for energy. Then this oxygen is released after photosynthesis. Animals cannot make their own food. So they must eat plants and or other animals. They are called consumers or heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, those animals eating plants. There are three groups of consumers. Maraming salamat dyan sa inyo. Welcome, welcome. The herbivores are animals that only eat plants or product seeds. They are also called primary consumers, yung mga herbivores. Carnivores are animals that eat other animals. There are two kinds of carnivores. The secondary consumers are carnivores that eat herbivores. Herbivores are primary consumers. Something that makes its own food is called producer. Tertiary consumers are carnivores that eat other carnivores. Killer whales, tertiary consumer, they eat another carnivore. Dolphin, secondary consumer, they eat herbivore. Herring, a primary consumer, they eat plants. Phytoplankton, these plants produce its own food. Make your own food chain. You can make your own food chain langga. Can you give me an example? Alright. I don't need to give you a test. Animals and people who eat both animals and plants are called omnivores. So we humans, since we eat plants, we also eat uh, animals through cooking. So during the culinary arts. So we are omnivores. To sum up, herbivores, animals that eat only plants. Carnivores, animals that eat only animals. Omnivores, animals that eat both animals and plants. Humans are also omnivores. Then there are decomposers, bacteria, worms, and fungi, which feed on decaying matter. These decomposers speed up the decaying process that releases minerals, salt back into the food chain for absorption of plants as nutrient. Ay, may kami kalab shoutout dyan sa lahat-lata nandyan. Kamusta kayo dyan? Oh, 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 oh. Decomposers, they consume eat dead plants and animals, and decomposers then reduces them to simpler form of matters. Primary decomposers include fungi, bacteria. Do you know why there are more herbivores than carnivores? In a food chain, energy is passed from one link to another. Let's say plant has the 100 to represent the energy it has made. When herbivores eats, it does not get all the plant's energy. It uses up some of the energy in everyday activities. The herbivore may only get 10% of that energy. So say for example, I am a man eating corn. So the producer is the corn. It has 100%, but only out of 100% of energy of the corn, only 10% of that will will be ano. I will get only 10%. I will only absorb 10% of the energy from the corn. Because not all the parts of the corn are edible for human. Can you eat the ano? Boy. Can you eat the leaves of a corn? Something like that. A carnivore. Hello, Care, Piña, Florida. Magandang gabi. Ayan si Care. Dikitan nyo yan langga. Si Care, Piña, Florida. Nagpapa ng bahay. A carnivore din eats this herbivore. The carnivore only gets 1% of that plant's original energy. This is why the carnivore has to eat many herbivores to get enough energy to grow. Yeah, to grow. Energy and mass is transferred from one level of the food chain to the next with efficiency of about 10%. Halimbawa, example, the plant, the corn has 100%. Only 10% of 100, no? Compute natin. Sandali na. Sandali lang. For example, the our plants is corn. Our corn uh, corn is eaten by a rat. So that means the rat will get only 10% of energy from the corn. So 10% of 100 is ano, is 10. Then if the rat has 10% energy, 10%, yeah. 10%. If the rat is eaten by a snake, the snake will get only 1% of energy from the rat. The 1% is the 10% of 10. Ah. What is the 10% of 10? That is 1. So that's why the snake will get only 1% of energy. If the snake will be eaten by the owl, uh, since the snake has already 1% of energy, so 10% of 1 is how much? 1 times 0.1. No, no, no. 1 times 0.10%. Hmm. So the owl will get only 0.1% of energy from the from the rat. Hmm. The corn is eaten by the rat. The corn has 100% of energy. If the corn is eaten by the rat, only 10% of energy will be absorbed by the rat. So the rat will have 10 percent of energy. If the rat is eaten by the snake, 10% of 10 is 1. So only 1% of energy will be absorbed by the snake on the rat. So the snake has 1% of energy if the snake consume the rat which has 10%. So the snake has 1% of energy absorbed from the rat. If the snake will be eaten by the owl, so the owl will get only 0.1% because 10% of 1 is 0.1%. So in every level, only 10% of energy will be absorbed by any of the organisms. So nagan the energy gets parang nubo siya nga nubo, no? So that's why in order for the animals to grow, they eat more herbivores to grow. Because herbivores has 100% of energy. But it will not totally be absorbed by the organism once consumed. Only 10% will be absorbed by any of the organisms, I mean. Ayan. Hope you learn. Hope you can relate with me. Say for example, the sunlight. The sunlight has 1 million joule of sunlight. Ayan. Sunlight has for example, sunlight, because sunlight is energy. Sunlight has 1 million joule. If the 1 million joule, assuming the sunlight is the solar energy, the sunlight has 1 million joule. If sunlight will be absorbed by primary producers, by the plants, how many percent in terms of joule will be absorbed by the primary producers? It's only 10,000 joule. Because 10% of 1 million joule is 10,000 joule. If the 10,000 joule is the energy absorbed by the primary producer to the sunlight. So if the primary producer, which has 10,000 joule, will be absorbed by the primary consumer, that primary consumer, for example, is the grasshopper. If the grasshopper eats the primary producer, which is the flower, only out of 10,000 joule of energy present in the flower, only 1,000 joule will be absorbed by the grasshopper, because 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. Ayan, dikit na daw, Peter. If the grasshopper is eaten by the secondary consumer, which is the rat, then the rat will get only 100 joule of energy from the grass, because the 10% of 1,000 joule is 100 joule. If the rat is eaten by the snake, how much energy uh, will be absorbed by the snake out of eating rat? So the snake is the tertiary consumer. The snake will have only 10 joule, because 10% of 100 joule is 10 joule. Ayan, mga langga. Bridyo, shout out. Padikit suklian agad. Ayan, maraming salamat langga sa lahat-lahat na nandyan. Patamsak. That is the energy pyramid. Shows many trees and shrubs provided food and energy to giraffe. Note that as we go up, there are fewer giraffes than trees and shrubs, and even fewer lions than the giraffes. As we go farther along a food chain, there are fewer and fewer consumers. In other words, a large mass of living things at the base is required to support a few at the top. Many herbivores are needed to support a few carnivores. Most food chains have no more than 4 or 5 links. There cannot be too many links in a single food chain, because the animals at the end of the chain would not get enough food and hence energy to stay alive. Most animals are part. Long time no see. Long time no visit to your channel. Bridjo, thank you ha, Bridjo. Baba ka ng bahay mo langga. And tingnan kita. Dito ako sa bahay mo, Bridjo. Nasa harang mo pa ako. Ito yung Australian Kindred. Kamusta ka na, Australian Kindred? Adventure Australian Kindred style. Maraming salamat ha. Most animals are part of more than one food chain and eat more than one kind of food in order to meet their food and energy requirements. This interconnected food chain form a food web. Note that the arrows na, may mga arrows kasi yan eh. Represent by a source of food to consumers. The substitute the arrows with the word eaten by. The arrows represent the eaten by. Turog ron to. Ay, sab pa. Okay, so let us have a short recap. Ang ganda naman dyan na Australian Kindred. Dito ako sa bahay mo, pinanood kita lang ga. Ayan, ay accessory. Nasa lakay ko. Dito lang ako sa bahay mo. Pinanood kita. Salamat ta, Bridyo. The sun is the source of energy. Without sunlight, no living things can exist because the sunlight is the main source of energy. Water is the source of life on earth. Without water, no, non-living things cannot exist. Water is in the hydrosphere. Geosphere is the atmosphere. No. What I mean is water is in the hydrosphere, geosphere, and atmosphere and biosphere. Okay, the living things in the biosphere are dependent on many non-living things, the biotic and abiotic factors. There are food chain and webs that shows what animals eat. The higher up on the food chain, the less predators they have. Be able to describe who received the most of the sun's energy and how energy moves and is converted through the food chain. No? Be able to describe how this system are connected, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. Thank you very much mga langga. So, ang ganda naman ng Australia. Grabe ang adventure niyo, ang saya-saya. Mayon din naman nag-abriya yung sinasakyan nyo diyan sa inyong adventure. Ang daming mga bato-bato sa palibot. Ayan, maraming salamat diyan sa nandyan. Lapag kay bahay nyo, baka may mahiya. Baka kayo mahiya ha. So that's all for the topic, Biosphere mga langga. Lord Channel, shout out. Thumbs up mga langga. May jacket ka na floor channel. Baba ka ng bahay mo. Hannah's Life Adventure, shout out. May jacket ka na langgap. Sa pagkabahay mo. Padikit lang ka sa aking members.
Yan, dumi. Di. Ah!
New Year. The gaming friend, shout out.